what's going on in the world.
Well, while promoting her book in London, Hillary Clinton fell down the stairs and broke her toe.
Nice to see Hillary hobbled by something other than the Electoral College, I suppose. Did she blame Bernie Sanders out of habit? One would imagine she might have. That hacks me off. The book hacks me off. Like, it really does.
Everybody writes a book, though, at this point, you know?
Yeah, but it was just so ready to go. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, if you don't win, if you don't get the glory and the spoils and the riches, you're basically on a book tour trying to promote your website or your book or whatever the hell it is. You got to make money. Oh, I don't know. How about a little public service? How about serving the people of America as the public servant you signed up to be, as opposed to going on a show businessy book tour? I know I'm cynical. I know I'm idealistic, but I believe that maybe a politician should be doing that. A public servant should serve the public, not write an autobiographical account of their failure and disappear on a whirlwind tour of the world. You shouldn't be in England. You should be here in the trenches. Although, is she like... I guess she's not officially employed as a politician now. She's going into the private sector thinking of working at Columbia University. But every politician just smacks of insincerity and really being on a book tour. And that hacks me off. So that's what else she's supposed to do. Funkhauser?
Okay.
Serve the people. Just because she didn't win doesn't mean she has to, she had all these important... Look, Bernie Sanders is in there fighting the good fight, punching away, trying to get things done, trying to make things happen that he
didn't
thinks
write a
would be
book
better
afterward?
I don't believe so. No. He just went to work for people.
I'm
Bernie
just
Sanders is
to try to make things happen for the people. I'm not writing a book of 500 pages or more.
I could be wrong. Don't quote me on this one. Trolls on Twitter don't have to be. He totally read a book. But Sanders is an interesting one because he's a man of principle. He's a man who, look, this will go away quickly if it turns out he's going to run in 2020. But Sanders is a guy that people on the right, interestingly enough, didn't seem to have a problem with. They hated his ideas. They hated the idea of democratic socialism. They thought it was going to lead us all to the poorhouse, and they might have been right. But they respected him because he seemed to be a man of principle. I've never heard of a lefty that got so much support from my hard right friends as Bernie Sanders. And I think, the proof is in the pudding in that he's not on a book tour right now. He's not in another country. He's fighting for what he believes is are the best things for the people of America right now. So, excuse me if I'm a little chagrined about Hillary hanging out in London. I'm sure Bill's probably pretty stoked about her being on a different continent, though. Go on.
Hold my calls.
Hold this.
The obesity epidemic in America is bad for the future of our military.
Yeah. Apparently they're lowering the sort of like the standard level of fitness that it takes to get into our armed forces.
Oh, man, they're lowering the bar?
Yeah. Or requiring that you do less pull-ups on the bar, whatever the case may be. I don't know. But on the bright side, it opens up new avenues for recruitment, thanks to slogans like, join the Army, we have cake.
I can probably do one pull-up.
It's getting so bad now that the uniforms are being manufactured by the same people who make the parachutes. Really? You think you could do one pull-up?
Probably one. Maybe I can get in now.
What about all that TRX yoga that you've been doing?
It doesn't work that way.
Oh. Does it make you stronger, better, fitter,
no.
faster?
I don't think so.
It's just like stretching?
Ask me in like a year.
I thought you were supposed to transform your body in 3 weeks.
It's transforming. 3 weeks.
Transforming into what?
You walk these streets most every day. You're waiting to get washed away.
Now, more AD on the radio.
So didn't Alec Baldwin win some sort of award? Like he won an Emmy or some sort of, I don't pay attention to those self-congratulatory orgies on his television and movie awards. But didn't Alec Baldwin win an Emmy or something like that?
How long ago are you talking?
Like really recently. Gave a speech. Won an Emmy.
Probably a lot of SNL stuff won in the last thing I saw.
Yeah. But you know what's kind of interesting, and we'll get to the news later, and we'll talk about Colin Kaepernick's formal complaint against the NFL later. But have you heard Taron Killam from Saturday Night Live? Have you heard him do his Donald Trump?
No,
So much better. At least I think. I think it's so much better than Alec Baldwin's. He's from Saturday Night Live, and he did an interview recently, and he talked about when Trump hosted the show last year. Thing is, he's never played Trump on the show, but his Trump impression is pretty good. I think it might be more realistic than Alec Baldwin's. Let me know. And by the way, just to clarify, Baldwin isn't trying to make his impression realistic, he says. All right, check this out.
There's never any, you know what I mean? You couldn't be like, how was your day? And he'd be like, it was fine, went for a walk. It was always like, my book is #1. It's very exciting. He wants to, he's constantly manipulating. He's managing. So, the table read. And then every rehearsal is like, if the line is written, hi, I'm Donald Trump and welcome to the show. It'd be like, I'm Donald Trump. Welcome. I think I should say it. Hey guys, I'm Donald. This is the show. Welcome to it. You know what I mean? It's just more natural. Taking ownership. It's now his idea. Now he gets the credit. Now he's like, I made it so much better. And it was, like stepping to the side or stepping backwards. Like the most heartbreaking moment at the time, we're at the host dinner. And he brings Melania and he brings Ivanka and Jared. We're all at the host dinner. And he says, Lauren, if I don't win this thing, I'm going to be fine. We just bought this beautiful piece of property in Scotland. If I have to be president, I'm never going to see that thing. And that was his priority at that moment. You know what I mean? That was even a consideration made me sad.
There you go. Do you think is it better than Alec Baldwin's?
I mean, it's good. That guy does a lot of good ones.
Yeah, it's not bad. And by the way, Baldwin did win the 2017 Emmy Award for his Donald Trump portrayal. I knew it was something like the Emmys. All right, to the news, Funkhauser, to the news.
I'm not as quick as I used to be. Oreo beer made its debut at the Texas State Fair.
Oreo beer. Whatever it takes to get through that Quiet Riot grandstand show. Would you drink Oreo beer? What's your favorite fair food?
Fair food. I like those spiral, when they take a potato and they turn it into a spiral thing and then they dip it in the...
Yeah, that is good. Yeah.
That's
Very
good.
Yeah. I had one of those, like, quadruple cheeseburgers where instead of getting it, it's like 4 cheeseburger patties with cheese.
That's never a good idea. That's too many burgers.
Well, it gets better. It's not a bun. It's a sandwich between 2 Krispy Kreme donuts.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't good. Like
it
was one of
doesn't
those things
sound good.
Yeah, no, that's. I mean, like I was just everybody's eating it. I think it had bacon on it too, but I was like, all right, let's give this a go, and not good. I was like, burgers and donuts are 2 delicious things, but they shouldn't be together. It was disappointing because that was the only truly over the top gluttonous fair food I'd ever
probably
tried,
try
and I was
also.
expecting it to be amazing. I just went for the most decadent looking thing on the menu, the most regrettable, like, take years off of your life food item I could find, and dove in with both hands, and the experience was a bit of a disappointing one. I do like that deep fried candy that they have, like the deep fried Reese's peanut butter cups. That's some good eating right there.
Yeah. I mean, the one that I loved most recently, they're starting to get really creative with it. They put a hot dog on a stick, and then they make a potato spirally, and then they put the spiral potato like inside, in between, and it's all on a stick, self-contained, and then they dip the whole thing in French fry stuff. Oh,
Interesting. Huh.
it's so good.
I've heard of this deep fried butter thing, which I guess is like a stick of butter that they freeze and then they put it in batter and then they quick flash fry it, so you're eating like a stick of butter. And like I don't
Like,
think I
who
could
would
bring
do
myself-
that? That's not a...
people do that. That's what people do. It's like people have seen one too many like man versus food type of television shows, and they go like, I'm gonna go for the most extreme and vomitous thing I can find.
That makes me squirmy.
Yeah, I know. The deep fried butter is something that I couldn't bring myself to do. I've had like the deep fried candy bars. I've had the deep fried all sorts of things. But the deep fried butter, it's actually kind of turning my stomach thinking about it. Can we do some more news?
Please, a New York restaurant is now selling a cup of coffee that costs $55.
Right. Or as it's known at Starbucks, a tall frappuccino. $55 cup of coffee. If you can't be bothered to go to New York to demonstrate that you're a giant tool by buying that $55 cup of coffee, you can just walk out into the street and kick a homeless person in the teeth. It sort of sends the same message. What else?
Today is National Pasta Day.
Right. Yeah. In honor of it being National Pasta Day, a list of the 15 most heavenly Italian restaurants in America was released. What's your favorite Italian restaurant, Funkhauser?
Oh, I do like the Olive Garden because of their like endless pasta that they do for like 109 days or something. But any place that can give me a really good chicken piccata, I'm into.
Right. Yeah, that's good.
What about you? You like Sizzler, don't you?
That's not Italian. No, not to sound like a snob, but when you live in New York City, the Italian restaurants there are rather good. So it does set the bar unrealistically high for the rest of the Italian restaurants in the country. There's a really good place in San Diego called Buona Forchetta, which is like they do amazing like calzones and things of that nature, and it's all fresh and awesome and delicious, and one of those places that is surprisingly inexpensive when you get there. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's the food there is such high quality that if you go there and eat, you think it's going to absolutely break the bank, but you're like, hey, I got out of there for only like $30. Not bad.
Leave the stimulation to the professionals.
Everyone is so smart.
KBRC, more stimulating talk radio.
There's something happening here, and you should know what it is.
The Dumbing Up of America. Now, more AD on the radio.
But yeah, if you are in New York, there's a bazillion awesome Italian restaurants. Favorite pizza place, probably Mimi's Pizzas up on, I think it's 87th Street on the Upper East Side. Like, freaking delicious. I ran into Danny DeVito and Rita Perlman there once. And I say I saw them. And people are like, hey, what are you doing here? They're like, Mimi's, you got to come up here. It's the best pizza. And the pizza tasted just as good before I had a story to tell about the place. But somehow the story seems to make other people want to go eat there. So there's that. And then, like I said, this place, Buona Forchetta, I don't know. Like, excuse the butchering of the Italian language. But Buona Forchetta in San Diego is freaking delicious. Like, it's so good. But it's not so much pasta as it is sort of like they've got really good sort of like meatball appetizers, and they do incredible things with artichokes. And they also have this sort of like, the calzones are awesome. And they do something that I haven't really seen at too many other Italian restaurants. They have like a brie and prosciutto calzone. Oh man, Funkhauser. Brie and prosciutto calzone.
Get out of town.
Sort of like basil on top. And you don't necessarily think of brie as being Italian food, but like it's just, yeah. Oh, now I'm hungry.
Why did we do this? Why did we start talking about food
when we don't have any to eat?
It's not fair.
I don't know. Yeah. Now there's no food and I'm sad. Quick, let's do some news. Just to think, a couple minutes ago we were talking about deep fried butter and had no appetite whatsoever. Now we're all calzone craven. But yeah, they did this list of like the 15 most heavenly Italian restaurants in all of America, and I don't think the Babbo in New York City was number one. But
New York shouldn't
you
count. Like, all of New York has the best everything.
Actually, you know what was named the best restaurant city in America, Funkhauser?
Where?
Houston, Texas.
Really?
Yeah. And what's interesting about it is that, I mean, Houston is a massive, massive city. A lot of people don't get it. It's very spread out. There are large pieces of open land, but it's a humongous city, fourth largest city in all of America. And there's a lot of restaurants there, and people take food really seriously. A buddy of mine that worked in the culinary business in Houston was like, man, if you're going to cook in Houston, you have to be damn near the best at what it is you do, because there's so many restaurants. If you don't give people excellent service and excellent food and excellent prices, they're just going to walk across the street to something else. Like, you just don't stay in business if you're not exceptional in Houston, if you're a restaurant. So yeah, interestingly enough, named the best food city in all of America. And that was a couple of years ago. I don't know if like New York won it back or San Francisco won it back, but that was a big moment.
That's pretty
for the
cool.
Houstonians. Yeah, very, very cool. Home of one of our radio stations, KPRC 950, Houston's oldest and most venerable radio station.
More stimulating talk radio.
Which is why they put us on very late at night.
In the middle of the night.
Yes.
Yesterday was National Bosses Day.
Did you get yourself anything, Funkhauser?
I was going to say, like, happy...
You self-employed trailblazer?
Yes, I treated myself to an epic chicken piccata.
Very good. Is that... All right, so I really should know this, but chicken piccata, that's in, like, the white wine sauce, right?
It's just lemon and butter.
Lemon, butter. I always thought it was like
capers.
Lemon, butter, capers. Yeah, and it's usually they make it in a little bit of white wine.
Oh, do they? I don't know.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. And it is delicioso.
It's my favorite.
Yeah. Go on.
Quentin Tarantino released a statement regarding Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, well, I was hungry and now I'm not. So, there you go. That's an appetite suppressant there. We're trying to get ourselves...
Can't wait for more stories to come out.
Oh, there's plenty. There's plenty.
They're going to roll out like Cosby, you think?
Yeah. And, I think the other thing is look, the valuable part of the horrific side of Harvey Weinstein is that it's encouraging people to speak up. And, all these Me Too stories that you're seeing online, people sharing their stories of sexual assault, mostly women sharing their stories of sexual assault or rape or harassment. A lot of the time, if you get into it with some of these folks, with some of these women specifically, this is the first time they've talked about it. And I think the Harvey Weinstein thing, not only are you going to see more accusers of Harvey Weinstein coming out, but in general, there's a dam burst, like we said. People are going to start speaking out about this sort of thing. And that's the thing that I like about it playing out in such a huge and public way. This is in no way limited to Hollywood or the film industry. Sexual harassment, employers in a position of power abuse it. It happens in every town, every city, every walk of life. Some professional, some not. Like I said, I had a very good friend who was raped at knife point by someone she knew. She never came forward out of fear of what it would do to her social circle, what people would think of her, what her family would think of her, which is obviously crazy. This is a strong, smart person who I cared about very much. And it was unthinkable to me that she wasn't able to talk about this. And it happened years before I met her. But it was a real lesson into how predators select their prey. Might seem random, but I honestly believe, if you really are a predator, if you do have some weird, psychotic, effed up instinct, it leads you to people that are, for whatever reason, more likely to keep their mouth shut. So these things tend to happen to people who have been put in a position where they somehow have felt, possibly for years, that it's some way their fault or that it would be the wrong thing to do to come out and tell their story and to see the person that had committed these atrocities on them punished properly. My friend didn't see it like that. So I hope in some way this, at the very least, emboldens women who have been wronged to speak out. It's weird. Some of these folks are inappropriate, knuckle-dragging pigs. The Weinstein defense was like, hey, I kind of grew up in a time where it's okay to slap your secretary on the ass. Try to be better. And there are people like that who are, like I said, inappropriate, knuckle-dragging pigs that need to evolve and evolve very quickly. But then there are others who are genuine predators. The predators are sick. The predators probably won't be able to stop because they're sick. But hopefully, this will make the Cro-Magnons evolve. And for the people that are actually predators, for the sick, twisted, predatorial types, hopefully this will make it much more difficult for them to find their victims. Because we will evolve into a society that has made it okay, as it should have been the entire time we've been on this planet, for women to speak out. And in some cases, men too. But let's be real here in this situation. I think mostly, I don't have hard figures to support this, I think mostly we're talking about women. So yeah, I think we have some new Harvey Weinstein stuff. Funkhauser. Maybe we'll have a chance to get into it today, but it never stops. I think we're just going to see it grow and grow, not only with regard to Harvey Weinstein, but with regard to numerous other people who have gotten away with this sort of thing for way too long. What else?
Well, Martha Stewart brand cake knives are being recalled because the handles can break and cause people to cut themselves.
Oh, gosh. Martha Stewart brand cake knives. Well, fortunately, if you slice yourself open with a Martha Stewart brand cake knife, Martha can show you how to stop the bleeding using just 2 pine cones and a little glitter and some other items that you might have around the
It's
home.
very easy. Today is Eminem's birthday.
I believe that President Trump just got him something very special, an IRS audit. Did Trump ever respond to Eminem, or did he let that one go?
No word. Haven't seen anything.
Because if he did just let it go, good for him. You know, that's a presidential thing to do. Not take the bait. I'll never forget, like Rudy Giuliani, who was my mayor in New York City when 9/11 happened, and I know a lot of people think of him being this bizarre old crypt keeper who's absolutely lost it, and maybe he has, maybe he hasn't, but I haven't paid that close attention to him. But he was a true leader during 9/11, and I remember taking it as a sign of his strength when, at the end of the year, when people talked about, it's been a hell of a year, you want to look back on it, you know, we're going to talk about 9/11, we're going to talk about some other things. What about music? Did any music come out this year that you were really into? He was like, I wasn't a big fan of that song, Who Shot Rudy? Some like rap group did a song about him called Who Shot Rudy? And that was the only reference that he made to it. And that was the right thing to do. I saw that as strength. And you know what? If Donald Trump blew his cool and went after Eminem on Twitter, then I would have taken that as a sign of weakness. Eminem going after Donald Trump is a very interesting one because this is what happens in the world of rap battling. If you want to, rap battling has been equated to time in prison. Never done time in prison, but I've certainly done some rap battling in my time. And the idea is you go after the biggest, meanest, toughest opponent that you can find and make a name for yourself. Because even if you manage to take a little piece out of him, you as a rank amateur that no one's ever heard of before, by attacking the biggest guy in the room and going up against him or her, you are going to gain a little bit of notoriety. And technically speaking, what Eminem did was he took on the biggest guy in the room being the world. So it made perfect sense that he went ahead and did that. And it was the right and more presidential thing to not respond to it. Although part of me feels as though Donald Trump recognizes the fact that Eminem is a guy who made a name for himself by cleverly insulting people. He is a master wordsmith. He is a master lyricist. He is a master. You cannot beat Eminem. Eminem became who he was because absolutely no one could beat him. He was absolutely undefeated when it came to rap battling. And you don't want to get into a war of words with that guy in any way, shape, or form. That would be a bad idea. So maybe Donald Trump realized that if he was going to pop off on Twitter, he was definitely out of his weight class in that one. Either way, not acknowledging it, that was the right move. What else?
Pittsburgh Steelers receiver Martavius Bryant is unhappy and wants to be traded.
Oh. Steelers should show him what true unhappiness is and trade him to the Cleveland Browns. Go on.
Sport. Halloween company is selling a giant penis.
Oh, yeah, costume. Giant male appendage.
This will be the last news.
You know how you're wondering what you should go to this, like, you got to go to this highfalutin Halloween costume party with some of your film people. Oh, man, we didn't get a chance to get into Colin Kaepernick. Oh, man. Anyways, we got some suggestions. Carmen thinks you should go as David Spade because you sound like David Spade to this Halloween party. I think that's a good one. People just have to listen to your voice, though. It's hard to do at a loud party. But or you could go as this giant male phallus.
I'll
or for
do
the
it.
Same effect. For the same effect, you could just dress as Justin Bieber. Same kind of thing.